When you hear someone say Mexico, what do you think of? Tequila, spring break, food, drugs? Well, let me tell you what I think. Let me show you my second home, my roots, where it's all about family, faith, food, and tradition. This is my Mexico. This is Acatic, Jalisco. It's another day in Acatic, and the townspeople are already hard at work, making bricks, which the town is famous for, delivering fresh tortillas at your door, and serving local organic fruit in the plaza for breakfast. Compared to the US, life is pretty slow in Acatic. There are no movie theaters or malls in town, unless you want to drive 45 minutes back to Guadalajara. Hardware tools can only be found in specialty stores, and animals range free, from street dogs to cattle grazing nearby, and pets ranging from baby goats, yes, baby goats, to dogs. By the way, that is actually Tanki, my grandma's dog. Speaking of which, Grandma's house has been filled to the brim with family members the past couple of days, since Grandpa passed away. Many come to pay their respects, to pray the rosary in his honor, or simply to drop off flowers and say hello. It hasn't been easy, but with loss comes family, and with family comes strength and comfort. But this trip wasn't all about saying goodbye. It was also about family.
Titi. ¿A quién le gustó a tu titi? Le puso tortillero. ¿Ah, sí? ¿Le gustó tortillero?
And although there are many events that bring us together, distance, finances, and the unique lifestyles of the varying branches on the family tree can make it difficult to see each other frequently. That's why Grandma's kitchen is the heart of the home.
¿Quiere leche?
A mí, dame mi café.
Food is a popular subject of discussion in the house. It's everyone's favorite time because that's when the majority of the family gets together. And we're able to catch up on each other's lives. Food unites us. It helps us to unwind. It reminds us of how much we've grown since last seeing one another. And there's nothing like bonding over Grandma's home cooking. Of course, with a family of this size, it takes a couple of turns around the table to feed everyone.
Aquí hay una.
Sí. A ver, ahorita te doy el café.
Although food hasn't always been in abundance in Grandma's house, as it is now, life has blessed us. From the cozy smell of the food on our plates, which turns into more, into food for our souls. Taking us in and becoming memories.
A ver, Mari, dile Vico cuánto va a dar. La mitad para decirle cuánto es.
500 what?
Memories that foster happiness. Becoming the greatest legacy mi abuelo left behind.
Una que se avienten bien
Usted,
ustedes.
abuelito, ¿cuál? ¿Cómo empieza?
Entonces, ¿qué? El muchacho alegre.
Our most treasured heirlooms.
¿Te gustó tanto,
Heirlooms that have given us one another.
Yes.
Muchacho, que me amanezco cantando con mi botella.
But all the pain, all the regrets can consume you. But so can the truth of how fragile life is. Nothing ever prepares you to say goodbye. Only time can heal certain wounds. That is why faith, my faith, is so important.
Para que tenga parte en la asamblea de tus santos, por Jesucristo nuestro Señor.
Regardless of everyone's religious, non-religious, or spiritual affiliations, faith, like love, carries us on. It reminds us to believe, even when we can't see it. Faith, like love, reminds us we are not alone, to be strong, to rise, and to unite. I've gone to more funerals in my lifetime than weddings, which is odd to say at 24, but it's a humbling experience that grounds you. Funerals in Acatic are much more fulfilling than those in the US. Instead of the eeriness of placing someone down deep in the ground with dirt, it's New Orleans style, as I like to call it. Loved ones are buried above ground as crowns of flowers surround them. There are crosses and decorations left behind to remember them by. Traditionally, palm bearers carry the casket all the way from the church to the grave, as the family walks behind them. One of the comforts I discovered amongst the community was the power of faith. In Acatic and many parts of Mexico, faith is omnipresent, whether you find it in church or amongst one another. Faith is a virtue practiced daily here. Its solemnity provides a rich foundation and connection to those in need of hope, love, and reassurance. Reassurance that everything will work itself out. Faith can be a tricky sort of thing. Sometimes it's strong, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it can move mountains, and other times it feels like it's not moving anything at all. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense. How can the world keep going? How does time continue when the person I care about is no longer here? The question always seems to be why, but there never really is an answer, is there? That's why it's important that we come back home. It reminds us that we still have a responsibility to serve ourselves, others, and those who have left before us. Acatic has grown since my mother left to California. Wherever you go, you can see food trucks making their deliveries from the city to our little town. It's one of my favorite qualities about my second home. Warm tortillas de la tortilleria ready for pickup. Corner stores on every other street filled with Coca-Cola and Corona to quench your thirst after a long day. Hole-in-the-wall restaurants that you'd miss if you didn't stop to look at the pop of color waving in the wind above you. And just like that, the fresh scent of laundry turns into a smile. A smile reminded me of the gift of life. That much like Acatic, there is a land of the living and a land of the dead. And the bridge is love. And if we cross the bridge every day,
Contigo con otra y otra. Otra y otra.
we'll always be home.